Let us start. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo, Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat, Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. सिन्दूरारुणविग्रहां तृणयनां माणिक्यमौलिस्फुर तारानायकशेखरां स्मितमुखीमाबीनवक्षोरुहां पाणिभ्यामणिपूर्णरत्नचषकं रक्तोत्पलं बिभ्रतीं सौम्यां रत्नगणस्थरक्तचरणां ध्यायेत् परामम्बिकाम् ध्यायेत् पद्मासनस्तां विकसितवदनां पद्मपत्राय दाक्षीं हेमाभां पीतवस्त्रां करकलिदलसत् हेमपद्मां वराङ्गीं सर्वालङ्कारयुक्तां सततमवयदां भक्तनं रां भवानीं श्रीविद्यां शान्तमूर्तिं सकलसुरनुदां सर्वसम्पत्प्रदात्रीं सकुङ्कुमविलेपनामणिकचुम्बिकस्तूरिकां समन्दसिदेक्षणां सदर्जाववाशाङ्कुशाम् अशेषजनमोहिनीं मरुणमाल्यभूषोज्ज्वलां जपाकुसुममासुरां जपविधौ स्मरेदम्बिकाम् अरुणां करुणातरङ्गिताक्षीं धृतपाशाङ्कुशपुष्पबाणचापाम् अणिमादिविरावृतां मयूकैः अहमित्येव विभावये महेशी। ॐ पराशक्ति नमः। ॐ पराशक्ति नमः। ॐ पराशक्ति नमः। So today we are going to cover from 571 till 585. 571 till 585. Let us start. Om Mahapralaya Sakshinyai Namaha. Om Parashaktiyai Namaha. Om Paranishtayai Namaha. Om Prajnana Ghanarupinyai Namaha. Om Madhvipanalasaye Namaha. Om Mattayai Namaha. Om Madrigavarnarupinyai Namaha. Om Mahakailasanilayayai Namaha. Om Mridanalamrududorladayai Namaha. Om Mahaniyayai Namaha. Om Dayamurtyai Namaha. Om Mahasamrajashalinyai Namaha. Om Atmavidyayai Namaha. Om Mahavidyayai Namaha. Om Shri Vidyayai Namaha. So the first name is Om Mahapralaya Sakshinyai Namaha. Mahapralaya Sakshinyai Namaha. So the first thing to understand is Pralaya. Pralaya is the dissolution. The dissolution is referred to as Pralaya. Sakshini. Mahapralaya Sakshini. Sakshini means witness. So she is the witness. So she is the witness to the Mahapralaya. Mahapralaya means the great dissolution. Yeah. So if you go to the what is that? There is a 232nd name of Devi. 232nd name which says Maheshwara Mahakalpa Mahatandava Sakshinyai Nama. If you remember, Maheshwara Mahakalpa Mahatandava Sakshinyai Namaha. So, this is again, this also refers to the same thing, which is when Maheshwara or Lord Shiva does the Tandava. Tandava. That is when does he do the Tandava? He does the Tandava dance at the time of dissolution, when the dissolution is actually happening. So what happens during this dissolution? This dissolution, at this time of dissolution, Brahma, Vishnu, Indra all perish at the time of the great dissolution. The only person who is a witness to this is Devi. The witness to this is Devi. And who carries out this dissolution? This dissolution is carried out by, dissolution or destruction is carried out by Lord Shiva. And because Lord Shiva's Shakti is Devi, Devi is a witness. So she is Mahapralaya Sakshini. So she is actually watching the dissolution. So what they say during this dissolution is that this dissolution cannot happen that this dissolution is going into nothingness. I mean, you cannot, basically, it doesn't evaporate into thin air. So this dissolution of the creation, this dissolution dissolves into consciousness. This dissolves into consciousness, into a vessel. So into something takes this consciousness, and this consciousness is preparing for the next cycle of creation. So that is what happens as far as the time of dissolution. So all that happens is that, like I said, all devatas, all gods, all are basically dissolved and recreated at the next cycle, and Devi is a witness to this. And why is Devi a witness to this? Because Devi is the Shakti behind the person who is doing out the destruction or dissolution, which is Lord Shiva. The next one, Parashaktye Namaha. Om 572. Om Parashaktye Namaha. The name is Parashaktihi. Parashaktihi. So she who is the original supreme power. She who is the original supreme power. Now, we have all covered these aspects, which is the fact that Devi is the supreme power. She transcends and controls everything. So, you say there is a if you look at the 10 different dhatus are there, which are elementary substances in the body. So they say that the 10th elementary substance is Parashakti. Which are the others? The dhatus are the skin, the blood, flesh, fat and bone. These are derived from Devi. While the marrow, the male fluid, breath and vitality are derived from Lord Shiva. The final 10th, dhatu, which maintains all the above 9, is called as Parashakti. So whenever there is any form of energy, there is a presence of Devi, and this Devi is seen as the energy in all substances, and therefore she is Parashakti. She is the Shakti behind all aspects of both living and non-living beings. In fact, if you remember, there is the earlier name is also there called as Para, which is the most infinite or the most basic aspect. So she is the most basic aspect, and that is called as Parashakti. Devi is in the form of this mantra, Parashakti, Parashaktiyai Namaha. 573, Paranishthayai Namaha. Paranishthayai Namaha. So Para, which refers to the most basic or minuscule aspect. Nishtha is the firm attachment, devotion, or the state of being established, or the final goal. That is what this Nishtha refers to. So the literal meaning is that she who is the supreme end or the supreme abidance. That is what this refers to. Now, if you take all forms of both living and non-living things, the ultimate resting point of all this is Devi, because what happens at the time of dissolution, it's got to come back into the consciousness. When it comes back into the consciousness, it merges with the divine, which is Devi. So all forms of movement need a substrate, need a foundation. Even we covered yesterday that even for a blade of grass to move or fire, all these things, even for that to happen, you need Devi's presence. So that support which is there for all aspects of life is the presence of Devi. Now, if you look at the state of how this whole thing gets merged into supreme consciousness, you have the state beyond the mind. So it starts off with the senses dissolve into the mind dissolves into the intellect dissolves into the Atman, which is Devi. So Devi in this particular name, as far as this particular name is concerned, the reference is Devi is the bestower of liberation. She is the bestower of liberation. The extreme end, at the end of all of this, liberation is going to happen, and Devi is the person who ensures that liberation happens. That's why she's called as Paranishta. She is the supreme end. When everything is going to end, that ends in liberation, and therefore she is in that form, and therefore she is called as Paranishta. Paranishthayai Namaha. 574. Prajnana Ghana Rupinyai Namaha. Prajnana Ghana Rupinyai Namaha. Prajnana refers to pure consciousness. Ghana means dense. Rupini means she is in that form. So she is what this means is that she is pure condensed knowledge. She is pure condensed knowledge. So that is what this refers to. Now, she is the ultimate condensation of all cognitive manifestation. She is the ultimate condensation of all cognitive manifestation. Now, if you take one small piece of salt, one small grain of salt, if you take that grain of salt, whether it is outside or inside, that salt will have only one quality, which is salt. That feeling of the taste of saltiness. So irrespective of the size of the grain of salt, whether it is one small grain of salt or a complete boulder of salt, the property of that salt is the same. So similarly, as far as Devi is concerned, she is consciousness, whether it is small consciousness, big consciousness, consciousness for an ant or a consciousness for a human. Devi is consciousness in all forms, both inside and outside, and there is no trace of avidya, no trace of ignorance that is there as far as Devi is concerned. So what this means is prajnana ghana means it is solid consciousness. Solid consciousness is what is referred to in this particular aspect. Now, if you take the condensed form, whether it is a condensed form or the expanded form, the intensity of the salt does not change. The intensity of the salt does not change whether it is one small grain of salt or a boulder of salt. The same intensity of salt is there as long as it is from the same place. Yeah. But then at the end of the day, the salt has a basic nature, and that basic nature is maintained all the way through, irrespective of the size. So therefore, the consciousness or the concept of consciousness is the same, and that's why she's called as Prajnana Ghana Rupini or Prajnana Ghana Rupinyai Namaha. 575. Om Madhvi Panalasayai Namaha. Om Madhvi Panalasayai Namaha. So Madhvi is derived from Madhu. Madhu, which is honey or Amrit. Yeah. So Madhvi refers to something which is intoxicating, and that is derived from grapes. Now, Pana means drinking. Alasa means relaxed, inactive. So that is what these three words are put together to come to Madhvi Panalasayai Namaha. So that's what this is. What this means is that she who is languid or completely intoxicated from drinking wine, she who is not eager for doing anything, she's just sitting silent because she's completely in a state of intoxication. Now, what is this madhu which is being referred to here? The madhu is the ambrosia which comes from the Chandramandala. When there is the meeting of Devi, of Shakti and Shiva happening at the Sahasrara Chakra, from there dropping down through through the Sushumna Nadi, as it comes down, there is the ambrosia which can be felt at the Anahata Chakra. Now, that is what is being referred to as Madhu or wine, and from the presence of that wine inside Devi, that intoxicating fluid inside Devi, she is in a state of complete bliss, divine ecstasy, and that divine ecstasy is referred to as Samadhi as well. Divine ecstasy is Samadhi. So once this is experienced, Devi is languid after consuming it. So once you have reached that stage of divine ecstasy and you're enjoying in that state, you don't want to come out of it. So I've already covered that yesterday. In fact, when you are in a state of self-hypnosis, you achieve the state where you're completely overcome by these aspects. Now, in that case, it's not about overcome because of drinking something, but when you're overcome by the presence of the Lord within you. When you're overcome by the presence of the Lord within you, that is a state of self-hypnosis. Once you enter that state of self-hypnosis, it is as good as saying that you don't want to come out of it. You will not want to come out of it. I have had the fortune of going through a self-hypnosis course, and one thing that came out of that course is once you start getting into that, even if the person who's teaching you or leading you into it, he snaps his fingers and says it's done, you come out of it, you don't want to come out of it. So that's the beauty of self-hypnosis, and that is the state which is referred to here, which is Madhvi Panalasayai Namaha. 576. Om Mattayai Namaha. Very similar to the previous name. She who is intoxicated. Devi is intoxicated. So Devi, she could be intoxicated by the ambrosia which we are referring to, or intoxicated by several other aspects. For instance, intoxicated with bliss. She could be intoxicated with bliss. She could be ecstatic with her own state of ananda. The state of ananda. She could be intoxicated with her own state. She could be intoxicated in a state of samadhi. She could be intoxicated due to the kundalini union between mind and when the mind and the outer senses dissolve. That could also happen. She can also be intoxicated by devotees and completely mad with love for her devotees. So there are several ways in which Devi can be completely intoxicated. Yeah. So these are the several perspectives of the word matta, which basically means she who is intoxicated. 577. Om Matrika Varna Rupinyai Namaha. Matrika Varna Rupinyai Namaha. She who is in the form of letters of the alphabet. She is in the form of letters of the alphabet. Now, we have covered this Matrika before. I think I don't remember the exact name, but this is also covered in an earlier name where we talk of the matrix of sound. And this Matrika refers to all the letters of the Sanskrit alphabet, if you recollect. Letters of the Sanskrit alphabet. So, it is called as the Matrika Varnas. So, every letter in Sanskrit is a unique one, and it is also considered as a unique Shakti, and also considered as a unique color of Divine Mother. If you put all these letters together, it creates mantras. So she is also called as Mantramayi. Mantramayi means the mother of mantras. So therefore Devi is the mother of mantras. How are these mantras formed? These mantras are formed from the Matrikas. And because these letters come together to create speech and knowledge, and she is called as the person who's given the gift of speech and knowledge. So this is also another perspective of the word Matrika Varna Rupinyai Namaha. Now, There are further aspects to this. The Sanat Kumara Samhita, it assigns colors to letters. So you're having the 16 vowels. The 16 vowels are smoke colored. The consonants from ka to da are red, da to fa are yellow, ba to ra are crimson, la to sa are golden, and ha and ksha are the colors of lightning. The different colors assigned to the different letters. Now, all these letters they basically appear only to the inner eye of yogins, people who are realized souls, and they are all Devi's colors. Now, there is another school of thought that says that all these colors are effectively white. Yeah, maybe it could be the scientific aspect where you say that you combine all these colors, mix them together, you will get white. So that is also another perspective. Maybe it talks of the probably the scientific aspect of the spiritual perspectives that we have. Then there is another text called as Madriga Viveka, where A is divine, a form of Brahman, red in color and protector of all the letters. So that is also another perspective in a book called as Madriga Viveka. Then when all these consonants are combined with vowels, only then the consonants start becoming audible. So vowels are related to Shakti and consonants are related to Shiva. So the syllables that are formed when you bring those consonants and vowels together represent the union between Shiva and Shakti. So Shiva is capable of cosmic tasks. So because the vowels are made by vowels are related to Shakti, so therefore she's got the key. The remote control is with Shakti. Without Shakti, the consonants are not going to mean anything. Yeah. So it is so important for us to remember that Shiva is capable of his cosmic tasks only when joined with Shakti. So those consonants have no meaning when vowels are not used. Yeah, so this is one of the perspectives. This is a perspective from Saundarya Lahiri. Yeah. Then there is she who wears a garland of letters. Yeah, garland of letters, a garland of Aksha, A being the first and Ksha being the last letter of the Sanskrit alphabet, and she who created the letter of the alphabet. Then there is also another perspective which is in the Tantra Shastra, where it says that Madriga Varnas are the letters belonging to the Sri Chakra. And there are different aspects of meditation. So meditation on the letters and the Sri Chakra, that particular meditation is called as Kailasha Prastara. Kailasha Prastara. So there are three types of meditation in Tantra Shastra called as the Prastaras. Kailasha Prastara is meditation on the letters. Then Meru Prastara is meditation on the 16 daily deities, and Bhu Prastara is the meditation on the 8 Vasini Devis. If you remember, we covered the different Vasini Devis. In fact, Kaula was also one of the deities. We had Vasini, Kameshwari, Modini, Vimala, Aruna, Jaini, Sarveshwari, and Kaulini. So these were the different deities which were referred to, the 8 deities. We have covered this in an earlier name. And Bhu Prastara is the meditation on the 8 Vasini deities and Devi as being one. So these are the 3 types of meditation. The 3 types of meditation once again is Kailasha Prastara, which is meditation on the letters of the Sanskrit alphabet. Meru Prastara is meditation on the 16 daily deities and Devi as one and the same. And the third one is Bhu Prastara, which is the meditation on the 8 Vasini Devis and Devi as one. So these are the 3 types of meditation. Then there is another perspective which is Madriga and Varna Rupini. You're splitting that name in a different way. So Madriga means one who cuts physical desire and shines as the light of knowledge. And Varna Rupini is one who is in the form of letters. So that is the other perspective of this particular name, which is Om Madriga Varna Rupinyai Namaha. It's a little long. So please bear with me. I had to do this in that level of detail so that you will understand, especially the next name. The next one is Maha Kailasha Nilayayai Namaha. Om Maha Kailasha Nilayayai Namaha. So she who resides in the great Kailasha. She who resides in the great Kailasha. So Maha Kailasha is the abode of Shiva beyond Kailasha, beyond the Kailasa mountain. So that is what is referred to as the Maha Kailasha. Kailasha generally refers to the Sahasrara Chakra in the Brahmarandra, and Devi resides in this particular area. So Tripurasara describes Sahasrara as known as the Kailasha, the seat of Akula, where the Lord of Lords Shiva resides in the Bindu. So the Lord of Lords, Lord Shiva, resides in the Bindu. So the 6 chakras from Mooladhara to Ajna Chakra are called Kula, and the Sahasrara above that is called as Akula. If you remember, we have covered all this before. Just do a little bit of rewind and you will remember all this name. Akula, Kula, all these things have been covered in the past. Then Maha Kailasa is the Kailasa Prastara meditation. We just covered that name now. We just covered that aspect of meditation. Maha Kailasa is the Kailasa Prastara meditation, and the speciality of Maha Kailasa is that Vasini and daily deities have no place there. All those deities have no place in this place of Maha Kailasa. So this deities, the Vasini and the 8 deities and the daily 16 deities are confined to Bhu and Meru Prastaras. If you remember, the Kailasa Prastara is meditation on the letters. Kailasa Prastaras are meditation on the letters. Meru Prastara is the meditation on the 16 daily deities and Devi as one. And Bhu Prastara is the 8 deities, like the Vasini deities and Devi as one. So from that perspective, it makes, which basically means that only in the Bhu Prastara and the Meru Prastara you have these deities. Kailasa Prastara is beyond all of these. So this takes on a lot of importance, because if you look at Mooladhara, where Kundalini Shakti is, Mooladhara is the Bhu Tattva, earth. Mooladhara is connected to the earth, and the backbone is also called as Merudhanda. Backbone is called as Merudhanda. Merudhanda is the other deities that are there, whereas the Mooladhara is the Bhutattva, where all the 16 daily deities are present. So that is the way the different forms of meditation have been identified and correlated with the body, correlated with the spine and the Mooladhara chakra. So this is Maha Kailasa Nilayayai Namaha. 579. Sorry, this is a little heavy. We have to cover this. So let us continue onwards. Mrinala, this is from now onwards, it's a little more easy. So Mrinala Mrududhorlatayai Namaha. Mrinala Mrududhorlatayai Namaha. So it is Mrinala, big la. Mrinala Mrududhorlatayai Namaha. So Mrinala refers to the lotus stem. Mrinala refers to the lotus stem. Mrudu means soft. Dor refers to the arms. Lata means creeper vine. So she whose arms are as soft and cool as the lotus stem. She whose arms are soft and cool as the lotus stem. So primarily this softness is indicating Devi's generosity, and the coolness is her consoling nature. Yeah. Now, why is there a reference to the lotus stem? The lotus stem is the ultimate symbol of supreme elegance. The lotus stem is the ultimate symbol of supreme elegance. So what is the significance? It basically talks of the gentle embrace of compassion. Let's not forget that Devi has got a lot of weapons. She's got so many weapons, she's got so many hands, infinite hands, and she's got so many weapons in all of those hands. And despite all the weapons that Devi carries, she's got extreme gentle embrace of compassion. So that is also an important aspect. Despite all the weapons, so that gentleness is there because of the comparison with that of the lotus stalk. And the there is a reference to the creeper vine as well. So there is a flexibility of the creeper vine. So what that means is that she, Devi, is also flexible, and cosmic energy signifies ability to reach all corners to rescue people. So that is the perspective. So we are in different corners, in different areas, different situations that we are in, and because of the flexible nature like that of a creeper vine, Devi has the capability to reach people in different parts, in different areas, and come to their rescue, especially when they are in a state of distress. So that is why she is called as Rinala Ridudor Ladaye Namaha. She is slender, she is flexible, and she is there to support all people in all parts of the world by virtue of being flexible and slender like that of a lotus stalk or a lotus stem. 580. Om Mahaniyayai Namaha. Mahaniya, she who is adorable. Mahaniya, she who is adorable. So she is also called as the exalted one. So now basically she who is fit to be worshipped, that's what Mahaniya basically means. She was adorable, she who is fit to be worshipped, she is pure virtue, and therefore all are complete, or all are compelled to bow to Devi. So because she is pure virtue, all people are compelled to bow down to Devi, which is why all the gods realize that Devi is the Shakti behind them, and therefore all of them are compelled to bow to Devi. Now this is something which will probably interest you. There is another word which has got a very similar meaning, which is Mahila. Mahila. Mahila in our part of the world in Kerala, Mahila basically means woman. I don't know whether it means the same in Andhra as well. Yeah. Okay, fine. So Mahila means woman. Mahila, apart from being the name for meaning woman, also means adorable. Also means adorable. So woman in India are referred to as Mahila, and it shows the stature that women enjoyed in the past. Yeah, that is what they used to be called. They used to be called as Mahila. Now the names that are being used are very different. Let's not go down there. But what that meant was, in the past, the stature of women was very high, and that tradition of the most adorable status is accorded to Devi as well. So Mahila is also another name which also means most adorable, and Mahaniya is the same meaning as well. She who is adorable. 581. Dayamurtihi. Om Dayamurtyai Namaha. Om Dayamurtyai Namaha. So what that means is that she who is the personification of compassion. She is the personification of compassion. So compassion is the basis of all good qualities, and the lack of compassion causes evils. The lack of compassion causes evil. So it is important that you have compassion. Think for the other person. Don't do lip service. Actually do. Actually employ. Go ahead and demonstrate compassion, because that is where, when you demonstrate compassion, that compassion starts building you, and it becomes your nature. It naturally becomes your nature. To allow that to happen, you should start physically practicing it. Once you start physically practicing it, that is when compassion actually comes in. And when that comes in, it creates all good qualities, and the lack of it creates evil qualities. Basically, what compassion means is thinking for others. When you think for others, That is what compassion is all about. That is what you need to do when you think as much as possible for the other person. 582. Mahasamraja Shalinyai Namaha. Mahasamraja Shalinyai Namaha. Or Mahasamraja Shalini. Yeah. So Shalini, Maha Samraja means kingdom. Shalini is possesses, shines with, or embodies, or quality. That is what Shalini refers to. And this is referring to Maha Samraja. So what is the Samraja? She controls the great empire, not just of the three worlds, but all worlds. Not just the three worlds, but all worlds are controlled by Devi. Now, some people say that the great empire which is being referred to could mean Maha Kailasa. But this you can go beyond Maha Kailasa and cover all aspects or all different worlds that are there. And as far as this particular name of Devi is concerned, they say that the chanting of this name blesses devotees with prosperity, inner strength, and removes spiritual obstacles. Spiritual obstacles. So we covered 2 days back also, we spoke about it. Generally, when you are faced up with tasks, and one of the tasks that you have to do is prayer, the casualty will be prayer. So you have 3 tasks to do, and out of that tasks, one task is prayer. Generally, the casualty will be drop the prayer, do the other 2. We don't have time. So drop prayer and then do the other 2. Or for that matter, we will even reach a situation where we will be in the car, we will end up doing prayer in the car. We will say, okay, let me chant, I have to chant Lalitha Sahasranamam before I leave for work. I don't have the time. So what will I do? I will chant Lalitha Sahasranamam in the car. So you will be driving, and Lalitha Sahasranamam will be either playing in the background in your sound system inside the car, or you will be chanting it. If you know it by heart, you will be chanting it. What will be the net result? The focus will not be on the Lalitha Sahasranamam, the focus will not be on the road also. So both will suffer. So as far as this is concerned, it is important that we chant always, and when we chant this name, which is the Mahasamraja Shalini Namaha, this blesses devotees with prosperity, inner strength, and removes spiritual obstacles. These spiritual obstacles are very important as far as we are concerned, to ensure that we do not falter in our part of prayer, on a path of prayer. We make sure that the path of prayer is always clear and always ready for us to move forward in the path of prayer. 583. Om Atma Vidyayai Namaha. Atma Vidya. So she who is the knowledge of the self. So she is one who blesses devotees with the knowledge of the self. So there is a mantra called Atma Ashtakshara Mantra. Atma Ashtakshara Mantra. This Atma Ashtakshara Mantra is basically Om Namo Narayanaya Namaha. Om Namo Narayanaya Namaha is also called as the Atma Ashtakshara Mantra. This Atma Ashtakshara Mantra is a form of Atma Vidya. And Om Namo Narayanaya is also a form of Devi. Why? Because Devi's Shakti is there in Narayana also, and therefore by chanting the Atma Ashtakshara Mantra, which is Om Namo Narayanaya, you are effectively calling her as Atma Vidya. She is the source, she is the person responsible for our existence, and Narayana's Shakti is also coming to Narayana from Devi, Lalitha Sundari Devi. 584. Om Mahavidyayai Namaha. Om Mahavidyayai Namaha. So she who is the seat of exalted knowledge, the knowledge of the self, which is very similar to the earlier name, Atma Vidya, very similar to the earlier name. Now, there is one more aspect which is the aspect of Vanadurga. The aspect of Vanadurga. Now it is the Vanadurga, it is the Vanadurga mantra. Vanadurga mantra. But the Vanadurga mantra is called as a Mahavidya also. Now, why is it called as a Mahavidya and not as a mantra? Now, wherever feminine energy is involved, wherever Devis are involved or a Devi Swarupa is involved, in those areas it is called as a Vidya. It is not called as a mantra. So, and there is the Maha aspect. Why Vana is also used? Basically because as far as the samsara vana, you are referring to the to your own body as a complete forest, where there is complete delusion inside. So from that perspective, it represents the human life, and therefore it is called as the Vanadurga. Vanadurga mantra or the Mahavidya. It is also considered as a Mahavidya. It is an important and an exalted state. So that is what is referred to here as Mahavidyaye Namaha. 585. Om Shri Vidyaye Namaha. She who is sacred knowledge, which is Shri Vidya. This entire discussion is about Shri Vidya. So this is the climactic name as far as the entire Lalitha Sahasranamam is concerned. Because if you look at what Panchadashi mantra is concerned, in this mantra, the main mantra which you are referring to is the Shri Vidya mantra. To get the Shri Vidya mantra, like I said, it is not possible for us to, it is not right for us to actually try and learn it from somewhere without actually getting initiated. So to get into the Shri Vidya mantra, you have to go through the actual process. So this mantra is called as the Shri Vidya Panchadashi mantra, is called as the Shri Vidya mantra. The Vishnu Purana says that all Vidya is a form of Devi. Now, what is this Shri Vidya? What does this mean? This basically means that Devi bridges human soul to cosmic reality. Devi bridges human soul to cosmic reality, and the Shri Vidya balances bhoga and moksha. Shri Vidya balances bhoga and moksha. Basically, liberation is provided or attainable in your normal living circumstances. While bhoga is happening, liberation can happen. And what Sri means here is the ultimate wealth, beauty and grace. So it is the knowledge of all this which ultimately gives liberation. And what the Vishnu Purana says is that this Shri Vidya, O Devi, you are the science of meditation, the philosophies, the three Vedas, the science of trade and justice. And all these forms of knowledge ultimately lead to Shri Vidya. So that is what this refers to. Om Shri Vidyaye Namaha. So this covers the 15 names that we planned to do today. I think the next 15 names will be possible. Probably maybe more than 15 as well in the next class. So I offer these words at the lotus feet of Lalitha Tripura Sundari Devi. Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Lokah Samastah Sukhino Bhavantu. Lokah Samastah Sukhino Bhavantu. Lokah Samastah Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Karacharana Kritam va Kayajam Karmajam va Shravananayana va Manasam va Paradam Vedam avedam va Sarvameda Kshamasva जय जय करुणाब्दे श्री महादेव शंभो, जय जय करुणाब्दे श्री महादेव शंभो, जय जय करुणाब्दे श्री महादेव शंभो। ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम।